This is me, National Smile 7, 2013 Buff Boy, and their littlest brother, Love for Trains 123, inside the Deadliest experiment on Roblox. This is the death penalty experiment, where a series of games will be conducted until there can only be one survivor left. So stick around to the end of the video to see some of the craziest plot twists, insane moments, and I hope you enjoy the video.
5 buttons have been added. One button contains instant death. One at a time, a random subject will be selected to pick a button.
And so the first subject was chosen to pick a button, and they passed. But the next subject, well, they also passed. So we were beginning to wonder which button was the deadly one, and if one of us were going to get picked next. And it was almost Love for Trains 123 who was going to be put up by the buttons to pick one. But last second, the wheel chose this random girl, who, instead of going up for the buttons, decided that e-dating was more important, and rightfully so, she got absolutely slimed out.
She died.
Well, after that horrific sight, we regrouped back at our table to try to chill off and, calm each other down. And as the next game mode was being chosen, we started to have beef with this guy because he didn't like the claims that I was making that he was e-dating that girl, even though it was pretty obvious. And we kept going back and forth and didn't even realize that the next game mode that was being chosen was Time Bomb. And when we finally looked up, we realized that he was the one with the bomb. Immediately, I tried to go find a hiding spot because Time Bomb is basically hot potato, and, well, this guy was probably going to target me for the remarks I was making, so I was pretty scared. But it turns out that he actually left, so we were actually chilling.
No.
The next game mode was Linked, where basically 2 people are chained together, and if one of them dies, the other one dies. And now this is very bad because if one of us gets chained together, we will be dismembered from the team and it will be super annoying, and we will also have to rely on this other person making smart decisions. And on top of this, Love for Trains 123 was nowhere to be found until we realized that he was one of the people being chained. Despite being chained, Love for Trains 123 made his way back to the table, and the next game mode was chosen, which was Dropper, where one person would be chosen to select a person to drop into the void, which would kill them. And as we were trying to discuss our strategies, if we were the person being chosen to kill someone, some guy tried to stay at our table, so we had to kick them out. And the person Love for Trains 123 was chained with decided to leave, so we were low-key chilling until we realized that the guy that was chosen to drop someone to the void for Dropper was the guy we just kicked out of our table. Yeah, it's just wrapped.
It's wrapped. They don't like you, bro. They don't like you. Random chase. He's doing random.
It turns out that the noob was actually a W, so we decided to invite him back to the table, but he decided to stay on his own, so we let him be. But we were allies with him now. The next game mode was Handout, where a random person would be given a .357 Magnum revolver that only had 1 bullet in the chamber, but they could do whatever they want with it. And getting a weapon would be super good because it can help you assert dominance and make people not want to mess with you in the game. I know this sounds corny, but it is just the truth. But sadly, we didn't get it. But just because someone else gets the weapon doesn't mean that we're in huge trouble, right?
My descendants are talented. Dude, what?
The person who had received the revolver, Danny Pro, shot Love for Trains 123 straight in the head, killing him. We had to get revenge. 2013 Buff Boy decided that he would avenge Love for Trains 123 by completing the obstacle course. But he would have to get first place, or else he would join Love for Trains 123 in the afterlife. 2013 Buff Boy failed to make first place, so now it was just me and National Smile 7 in the deadly experiment. The next round was favorites, where 3 people would be selected to be put in cages over saws, and we would have to vote for 2 people to survive and 1 person to be sacrificed. Automatically, we decided to vote for the noob because he was one of our allies, and he managed to be safe. And then we saved some random other person, but 1 person had to be sacrificed. The next game mode was Split and Steal, where 2 people would be chosen to be put up on the stage to compete for a prize. They could either choose Split so they could get an equal amount of the prize, Steal to get the whole prize where the other person would be eliminated, or if they both choose Steal, they would both be eliminated. One of Danny's friends, probably his E-Date, was selected to go up there, and she was going up against one of the noob's friends.
Yeah. I know people always think
Now we had 2 enemies on our hands, Danny and his E-Date, and we were going to do whatever it would take to make sure that they were executed. The next game mode was Dropper once again, but this time, Natural Smile 7 was selected to be the person who chooses who falls to the void, and immediately we knew who we would have to kill. We had finally got revenge on Danny for what he had done for Lover Trains 123, but his E-Date was still remaining, so she was our next target. But for now, the next game mode was Duels. Duels is a game mode where 2 people are put up on the stage, which is illuminated with red light. When the light turns green, they must shoot at each other. The person with the better reaction time will come out alive, but the one who fails to shoot first will perish. First up, the noob was selected, but we started to worry because he was one of our allies and we didn't want him executed. But then this happened. National Smile 7 had no choice but to execute the noob.
Ish, bro, you have to do it. You have to do it.
The next game mode was Handout once again, and I thought back to Lover Trains 123, how unfair his death was, and I knew I had to get the weapon. Just in case if I ended up getting it, I positioned myself near Danny Pro's E-Date, and what do you know? The next game mode selected was Murderer, where a random person would be given a machete and the power to do whatever they would want with it. They could save as many people or kill as many people, but they were the murderer. They could do whatever they want. And it selected me. It felt like redemption, rebellion against the people who created this experiment. And I decided I would have to go on a spree and only leave me and National Smile 7 left. And maybe, just maybe, the leaders would have mercy and let us escape free. Now, it was just me and Natural Smile 7. I hoped and I prayed that we could both be set free, but they forced us into a showdown where 2 people would compete in a 1v1 with a selected weapon, and only one can come out alive and win the experiment. I considered the sacrifice, but I realized, why? Why fall now? I've come so far. I've done so much. I've seen so much. What's the point of giving up? I've done all of this to keep going. And I don't think Lover Trains 123 and 2013 Buff Boy would like to see me stop.
Yes, I feel like I'm falling down.